What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Anything Goes, the show where, of course, anything goes. Today, we're going to be looking at some Ben Shapiro reacts to woke TikToks. These are definitely some of my favorite videos to watch because they're super funny, and Ben Shapiro is definitely one of my favorites. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Here we go.
Alrighty, folks, today we are going to take a look at some of the most woke TikTok clips out there. Now, my producers tell me these are particularly difficult to watch, but I will be the judge.
You may regret that.
Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Giant Partners for sponsoring this video.
Cupiosexual people are asexual people who still desire a sexual relationship but don't experience sexual attraction. Cupiosexual people may decide to have a sexual relationship despite not feeling sexual attraction while others don't. Both are completely valid and communication is key. Hope I could help. Check out my hashtag Vampire Kid Explains for more.
Vampire
Kid.
It
helped. It helped. I now understand nothing about what just happened.
I agree.
How hard do we have to work to come up with sexual minorities now? Right? We have such a viciously intolerant, brutal, sexist, heteronormative, cis-patriarchal society. We have alienated so many people that they have to work so hard to come up with being a member of a sexual minority. That used to just, like, a person who didn't want to have sex, but who sometimes has sex. How do you exactly, do you like identify into it? And sometimes you're into the sex, you're no longer cupiosexual. This is the thing, it's all fluid, right? You can be whatever you want at any time. And no one has to verify any of this. You just declare yourself a sexual minority.
I declare.
So it's fun to watch how we have created basically two categories in American society. The victimized and the victimizers. And when you create those two categories, everybody wants to be in the victimized category because you don't want to be a victimizer. Yep. So now you're like a cupiosexual or a demisexual.
A demisexual.
Was the other one that was recently in the news because of Andrew Cuomo's daughter declaring herself a woman who only wants to have sex with people to whom she's emotionally attracted, which used to just be called a woman.
Yeah, but which is just normal.
It's all good times. You have terms for everything now. Terms up the wazoo.
Governor Abbott has just lifted the mandatory mask mandate in the entire state of Texas.
Okay.
Now businesses are back at 100% capacity.
What?
So when there's a giant spike in our country, you're gonna know exactly who to blame. You can say don't mess with Texas all you want. You know who can mess with Texas?
What?
The wrath of God.
That makes no sense at all.
Don't care about your weird state pride. Get over it.
Did the spike happen?
Nope.
It did not. Also,
what?
I have a feeling this may be one of the only times this person uses God unironically. It's funny how the left will always talk about the wrath of God when all they really mean is this sort of pagan concept in which nature punishes you for not being left-wing enough. This is healthy behavior. Oh my God, other people aren't going to be mandated to wear masks post the possibility of vaccination, and you can get a vaccine anytime you want. Everybody can get one, and I can't boss people around. God will avenge himself on Texas. The most religious people are the pagan atheists.
Of course.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I just came up with new neopronouns that combine he, him, she, her, and they, them.
Oh God,
okay?
Here we go.
So hear me out. They, them, theirs, okay? They, them, their, whatever you want to consider it, right? Let's take the first one, the, okay? This combines she, he, and they, right? They, thee. That's what they said, you know? That's what they said.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What
are you talking about?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Also, I mean, just a refresher, the word "the" actually does have a meaning, right? Like "the" with two E's at the end means you.
You.
In English. So now you're just taking that term, and you've turned it not into "they," but also into...
Why can't we just have... why can't we just have the normal pronouns? He and her and she and him and that kind of stuff? Why do we need all this extra stuff? This is what we were talking about a while back ago, that this has just gotten absolutely ridiculous and just to the point stupid. Continue.
To they and he, and also she, and they and him, but not her. That's another word. That's thers. All of this is designed. All of this is designed to convey less information. Because, as it turns out, there is no person who is male, female, and also plural. Those people don't exist.
Plural, bitch!
Nope. Not a thing. But, well,
oh, God.
I mean, I guess it's better than those other neopronouns. Some people are calling themselves, like, unicorn. Unicorn.
And frogs and...
You know,
frog self and clown society. And clown self.
Hi there. My name is Sarah. This little cutie is my son, Bennett. As you can see, my son is a white male. So here are some books that I bought to help prevent him from growing up to be
oh, goodness.
awful. Starting out strong, we have C is for consent. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's a picture book that goes into detail about consent with your body, with family.
No thanks.
Because I'm raising a feminist, we've got A is for
Jesus.
awesome, 23
Oh, you're raising a
inspirational women.
feminist.
Finally, we have
And
Except
that's
When
the
They
problem
Don't, a
with
book
today.
about boys and girls liking whatever they want, regardless of their gender.
Goodness,
Oh, sorry,
Lord, help me.
I'm looking up the number for Child Protective Services. This is a person who has a very clear set of values that she wishes to impart to her child. Her set of values suggests that her son, being white and male, is naturally inclined toward being a terrible, horrible person. And so she must indoctrinate him to believe that males and females are completely fluid categories, and also that white males naturally are going to be rapey. Seems like
Be
good times
rapists?
over there.
Really?
But
Come on.
here's the thing. When you're a
So
parent,
stupid.
you don't get to just
Pause.
bring
That's the problem with feminists. It's just feminists have this idea that just men are just these terrible pigs who are just constantly thinking about sex, and just the whole idea of feminism is just so toxic. The idea of men ain't shit is so toxic because, you know, we do need men in the culture. So feminists are just, they are ridiculous. Men are not terrible, rapey humans. So it's just so stupid. Continue.
your child like they're in a vacuum. You gotta pick a value system. So here's a person picking a value system, and it has its downsides.
What are your preferred pronouns?
Mostly downsides.
They, them. Oh, I've
What
never
the
heard
fuck?
those before. What are they? They're what's known as neopronouns. What are neopronouns? They're basically your
Something
own
stupid.
custom pronouns. When no other pronouns seem to fit, you come up with your own pronouns. Anything can really be a pronoun.
It's true.
Pause. Let's be honest, this girl here is very confused. She needs help.
Oh, how do I use them? It depends on the person and their pronouns. They, them follows a
Goodness.
similar spelling to they and them, and even similar grammar rules like there and there. So they, them, themself, theirs, things like that.
Okay, now you just sound like an actor from 1940s doing a bad German accent. What do they say? Have you talked to them?
You care for another Schnitzengruben?
Neopronouns are just, you're making shit up, is what I'm getting from this. And we're all supposed to just pretend this is
Absolutely.
normal.
You're just
my
making
God.
it
We're all
up.
supposed to pretend that we're going to go along with this now. Like, okay.
Everything's
I just,
okay.
I
No, it's
just
not.
felt so
Stupid.
marginalized by typical human language. That I've
Marginalized.
created a new set of terms in which I prefer to be referred to as and also those are my new pronouns. So every time I come in the room, I want someone to say, well, instead of like there he goes, it'd be there goes. We are
So dumb.
taking all of the things like reason and human language that used to be universal and humanizing, and we are removing those in favor of just random good times. Uh-oh.
A one,
Oh, God.
a two, a three, a four. Watermelon sugar pride, watermelon sugar
What?
pride. One non-binary, gender fluid, trans men and women.
You're showing your delusion in public now?
Trans men and women too. Wow. First of
Oh,
all, just the
God.
musical talent on display is spectacular. The hijacking of children into this video is also
I would say
particularly
otherwise.
spectacular. I really did enjoy that. Non-binary, gender fluid, trans men, and trans women too. Extraordinary femininity
We love
demonstrated
this.
by this particular trans woman. Definitely convinces me that gender is nothing but a social construct.
My fur girl just came up to me and asked if she could play with my Dumbo Trump flag. And I said, my
Dumbo Trump flag?
I don't have one of those. And yes, she calls him Dumbo. I just never corrected her. And she goes, yeah, you do. This one. And I
Oh,
feel
God.
like it's kind of profound. Did he ruin the flag for anybody else? Just me?
Maybe you should have exposed
No.
her to the American flag before Donald Trump did. That would have been your solution right there. Maybe the reason that she associates the
Yeah.
flag with Trump is because you never taught her what an American flag was. And that one's on you. That one's on you.
When it comes to inclusive
I don't
language,
know.
oftentimes people tend to use phrases like people with penises or people with vaginas rather than saying male and female or men and women. While this can absolutely be inclusive
Same
for trans
thing.
people, unfortunately it's not always the most inclusive language for intersex people. My advice is to use language that focuses on function and not just form. That means focusing on the actual function that you're talking about, such as people who can get pregnant, people who can get other people pregnant, people who are at risk of testicular cancer,
What?
and so on and so forth. This is much more inclusive because there are intersex
So,
people who are born with a vagina
a
but
man or a
don't have
woman.
a uterus or ovaries or an ability to menstruate. This is because some people that are born with a penis don't have testes.
I think that from now on we should describe people by all of their biological features. All of them. So I think it should just get longer and longer. So it could be a person with a penis, but no testes. And also a uterus, but a prostate. Like that, I feel like that would be better than just saying intersex people. Honestly, I wonder how many intersex people really feel bad if you say that they are an intersex person, because that is a biological status, but isn't what they identify as the only thing that matters? I mean, why are we even trying to use objective metrics like whether they are a person who has a uterus in order to measure who they truly are inside? This lady's too intolerant. Wait, sorry. This person who I presume to have a uterus, but have to make an assumption about. I think this person, gender offender bender,
I've got what they call gaydar,
is not sensitive enough, frankly.
What's the worst thing that's gonna happen if you start believing that you're the hottest alive?
Here's what I don't like about that statement. Why do you want to say hottest instead of just hot? It's a superlative that implies competition. Is it because you're still basing your self-worth on how you compete with other hot bitches, aka women? Just stop using superlatives!
This is the stupidest thing that I've seen in at least the past 12 seconds.
Pretty dumb.
It turns out that life is filled with competition. It is well known by virtually every social science study that there is competition for mates.
Yes.
It is true in evolutionary biology. And so that competition does exist, and you can either pretend it doesn't exist, or you can recognize that it does exist. But this person seems very, very angry about superlatives, which makes them the craziest person that I've seen in the last few seconds, at least, because I'm watching these videos back to back, and frankly, I just want to run directly, like, screaming through a plate glass window. There are more? How many of these are there? You're gonna, like, Clockwork Orange me here and just pry my eyes open.
Guess what, my patience is run out. Pansexuality is not inherently biphobic. They are both valid sexualities. Both of them. And while, yes, I have seen pansexual people use that label for questionable reasons, they pretty quickly get it once you explain things to them. They do. If you took all that energy you spend calling people biphobic and saying they're performing bi erasure and just educated them, there would be less biphobia. There would be less bi erasure. Because you've explained it, and people will know the difference. I've f***ing had it with you guys. Jesus
What was that? I don't. What was that? Was that in human English? I don't know what any of that means.
What happened?
I don't know why this person's yelling at me.
I'm confused.
I don't know why you guys are putting me through this. I don't know why I employ you.
Surrounded by assholes.
There's so many things I'm so confused about and troubled about right now. I think the only thing that we can take away from this particular video is that no one should ever use TikTok for any reason.
Thank you.
It's a bad place.
Not only
TikTok
is it a Chinese propaganda tool,
toxic,
gathering all your data, but also it's filled with self-obsessed people who believe that what they have to say is very important, no matter how stupid or minute or ridiculous. With that said, if you want to see me react to more insane TikToks, apparently let me know in the comments or something. If you have any TikToks you'd like me to see, you can share below, and my producers, I am sure, will check and then torture me with those.
Yes, very good. So anyway, that's... that is Ben Shapiro reacting to some woke TikTokers. I think TikTok is an absolute terrible app. God dang, man. If it's so toxic, like I've said before, and it's just filled with so much just bullshit, and it's just not a good app to have on your phone. Well, I mean, most apps anymore aren't really great to have anymore. Facebook's become a pretty toxic place. Instagram's kind of getting there with the Reels, because the Reels are, from TikTok are passing over to Instagram. Yeah, social media in general is just, it's become a pretty bad spot to be on. But TikTok, I would definitely say, is the worst. I'm kind of glad that Montana is getting banned of TikTok, because it is just a terrible app to have. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you love, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section below. We'll be sure to get to those. If you want to be on the show, let us know. We can either have you call in, or you can sit right here next to me and we can talk about whatever you want. So until the next video, I will see you guys next time. Bye.